because I'm really, really bored and my hair's crazy. I figured I'd be extra nifty and wrap my kitten up in a blanket. Alright, so I'm going to talk about my Halloween. And it wasn't actually Halloween, it was actually like the Saturday prior to Halloween, which is, as my lovely boyfriend says, the adult Halloween. And I was like, psh, whatever. Anyway,
So my boyfriend and I, we go to this party and
we ended up leaving because the host's family was there and whatnot, and it's kind of boring. There are kids there at that moment in time, and I was like, screw this shit. So we left and we went to Shenanigans, and I hung around a karaoke bar for a little bit. And then after that, we went back to the party and I started drinking more than I had already consumed prior to that. I'd had
a few shots before I left the house. And then we went to a friend of mine's house and I had a couple shots of Grey Goose there. Then when we went to the bar, I had a little bit to drink, you know.
And then, so we go back to the party, and I do a couple more shots there, like 4. And then I make myself actually, I didn't make myself a drink. The host, Dave, made me the drink, and it was actually really, really good. So I was basically like, dude, go make me another drink and shit like that. So after a lot of sexual humor, which I find ridiculously funny, you know, someone's like, do you spit or swallow? And I'm all like, you know. Anyways, it was just weird because I usually do drink quite a bit, but I definitely passed my limit this time. So I'm all drunk and shit. It's about like, I don't know, midnight, maybe 1 o'clock, and I'm all affectionate. I'm like, oh my god, come here, give me a hug and shit like that, and sticking my tongue halfway down my boyfriend's throat, you know how that goes. Hugging everybody, you know, being all obnoxious and shit, and, you know, it was just funny to me because I was having, like, such an awesome time that it really wasn't even funny. Of course, you know, I was all like, Greg, come here, how are you? And shit like that, and, you know, being all, like, affectionate, aka sex fiend sort of thing going down. So everything was going smoothly up until, you know, my 5th drink at the party, and definitely had quite a bit of booze in my system by then. And Greg's like, I think we should go. And I was like, oh, I haven't finished my drink yet. And then, like, because wasting a drink is purposeless, you know. So I down it like a champ, you know, say bye to everybody, whatnot, stumble down the stairs, get into his car, and then he looks at me and I'm like, baby. He's like, what? I'm like, I want the sex. You see, it's just funny to me because there's like this ongoing thing, you know, like he dressed up like a pirate and he continued to look at me and be like, have you ever fucked a pirate before? And it was just funny, you know. I mean, fucking hilarious, you know. You know, so I'm all drunk and I'm in the car, you know, yelling like, come on, I want to go fuck the pirate, blah, 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 and whatnot. Good times, good times. But he had ran out of cigarettes, so he wanted to go to Cumberland Farms. But I'm all like, sitting in the front seat, like, basically wishing for my life to be over because, like, I was wicked fucking drunk, really fucking dizzy. You know, but I really, really, you know, needed some water. So I'm like, can you get me a water bottle? And he gets me a water bottle, and I spilled it all over myself. well, most of it all over myself and drank the remainder of it. So I go home, lay down on my bed. He goes to the bathroom, and then all of a sudden I start getting sick. Seriously, I've never puked that much in my life. It was so gross because I kind of learned my lesson though, because like I really hadn't had anything to eat that day besides a couple French fries. So that's what I'm thinking that it was. Either that or it was a little smidget of alcohol poisoning, which is probably the other half of it, because after, you know, all the alcohol was out of my system from me vomiting so much, the French fries come up, and then the stomach acid. So it really sucked because I don't know, like, if anybody of you have experienced this, but when I get sick from a hangover, I get really, really, really hot. Like, if I'm, like, about to puke, I feel like my body is on fire and I, like, start sweating and shit. Like, not profusely like a fucking, like, man's balls or anything like that, but it's pretty bad. So I get all hot and, you know, I'm like, oh my god, it's so hot, and then I puke and shit like that. And then I get really, really cold after I'm done puking, like, to the point of, like, shivering. Like, I get really, 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 really hot 1 second, then really, really cold 1 second. It just sucked. But I guess I kind of learned my lesson because, like, the thought of alcohol at this moment in time kind of grosses me out.